A prenuptial agreement outlines what happens to a married couple's financial situation in the event of a divorce. It's also called a prenup. In Alabama, lawyers often call it an antenuptial agreement. It's essentially a contract that will guide the sharing of assets and debts incurred during the marriage if the marriage breaks down. In Alabama, it doesn't cover custody of kids or childcare payments. The court decides these matters. In this video, we'll cover prenuptial agreements, what you'll need to know before signing one in Alabama, and how to make sure a judge won't throw your agreement out. Make sure to watch to the end so you can access a fillable prenuptial agreement. If you and your soon-to-be spouse have debt, assets, or children from another relationship, it's worth at least knowing what a prenuptial agreement looks like in Alabama. Most states have adopted the Uniform Premarital Agreement Act, which standardizes rules for prenups across many courts. Alabama has not adopted this law. Instead, legal precedents set the tone for prenups in the state. The Court of Civil Appeals of Alabama ruled in 1980 that an agreement is valid if it can be proven that both parties fully understand the other's financial situation and the impacts of the agreement when signing it. The agreement has to be fair, just, and equitable from the points of view of both parties. An Alabama court can overturn an agreement if it's unfair to one party. So if you live in Alabama, it's a good idea for you and your spouse-to-be to get separate and independent legal advice. A judge can also void a prenup if one spouse withheld information about his or her financial situation when the agreement was signed. So when you draft the agreement, it's in your best interest to be honest about what you own and what you owe. The form you can access at the end of this video will ask you for information about your assets, your debts, and your children from previous partners. It'll also ask you about your earnings, bank accounts, and what you both want to do in case one spouse becomes disabled and unable to work. It will also ask you to define the period for which the agreement will be valid and what you think alimony and health insurance should look like after a divorce. These are good things to think about even if you don't end up signing a prenup. It's recommended that both parties sign the agreement and that this happens in front of a notary public. It's also advisable to have two independent witnesses sign the form. No one wants to have to think about getting divorced when they are planning a wedding and excited about building a future together. But if you do find yourself facing the end of a marriage, you'll be glad that you watched this video before you tied the knot. Get an antenuptial agreement that meets your state's criteria at the link below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos that can help you legally navigate major events in your life.